What? Clapping like a seal.
Yeah, like an otter.
Hi, Ryan.
What's up, Benjamin?
Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing's up.
I got some stuff that's up. You don't got nothing up?
No, I don't got nothing up.
You got anything down?
No.
No.
No, I don't have anything down either. But I had to think about it for a second.
Okay. What are you thinking about if you actually had something down, or you just didn't want to share it?
I mean, I'm just playing Dark Souls again, man. I'm always fucking playing Dark Souls. I could talk to you about Dark Souls every single week if you really wanted me to, but I'm not going to do that.
I appreciate that you're not going to do that. That's very kind of you.
All right, so what's up with you?
Well, I've been playing. I want to talk to you about Hytale.
I don't know what that is.
No, you don't. You also don't know what One Pixel is, I'm assuming, and you also don't know what Vintage Story is, I'm assuming.
No. Okay, I don't know any of these. Okay.
That's all
Lay it on me.
Minecraft stuff.
This is going to be one of those episodes where Ryan tells me about a bunch of stuff and I just sit there and listen.
Another thing I'm going to tell you about is called OpenGOAL, which is what's on the screen right now. It's right here.
All right, and I can see that, and it says something about Jak and Daxter.
It sure does. I think that's going to be our starting topic. I'm going to lower this a little bit for me. Oh, my God. We're all so loud.
Yeah, hopefully our sound issues are fine for once.
Well, we tested them. Yeah, this is about Jak and Daxter. That's what I'm probably going to start with. Did you play Jak and Daxter when they came out?
No, never played. I've never played Jak and Daxter. I have. Okay, so as much as I love video game history, I've got the big blank spot for the non-Nintendo stuff from the 90s and early 2000s. I didn't have Sega Genesis.
Really?
I didn't have a PlayStation. I've never played most of the classic games. Like, okay, so here's the craziest thing. I missed the PS2 generation.
That is insane because it's like the biggest generation.
I didn't really start like getting video games until like the PS3 generation started being a thing. Like I got a GameCube when the Wii was the popular Nintendo console. And like mostly I played handheld stuff and I played a lot of like emulated stuff and a lot of computer games and stuff like that. But it's only like looking back on it where I'm like, okay, oh my god, Sony, when they fucking released the PlayStation and their strategy for like finding all these small studios and like all these different games was
Dude,
awesome.
There are not more games on the PS2 than every other system, I think, if you count PC.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many games on the PS2, and many that we haven't heard of.
And they're incredibly interesting and creative. And then, well, we're going to talk about Jak and Daxter, but it starts with Crash Bandicoot. Naughty Dog is probably Sony's biggest success story, period.
We could talk about Crash Bandicoot. We could talk about Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank.
Sly Cooper came later, as did Ratchet and Clank.
They both did. I don't think later than Jak and Daxter. I think Jak and Daxter.
Yeah, I'd say they're around the same era there.
But Crash Bandicoot definitely was PS1. There was no of the other two. I think the first Sly Cooper might have been on PS1, but the other one was not. I played Crash as well. I have the Insane-O trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really gone back because I feel like of the games in this area of gaming, I feel like Crash is like not aged the best.
I mean, it was an accomplishment in 3D game design and particular 3D platforming, but like it was also very limited, and it came out in proximity with Mario 64.
Yeah.
You know?
And like Crash Bandicoot is like one level where you're going down a big long line, and then you stop at the end, and that's the whole thing. And then Mario 64 is an open, like giant, huge thing that you can go up an impossible flight of stairs.
Yeah,
with
where
crazy
the
movement.
movement is like perfection.
It's so cool.
So tell me about Jak and Daxter specifically. Did you play that as a kid? Was it a childhood favorite?
This is so interesting. I didn't. When I was a kid,
isn't that interesting?
It's what is interesting about it is that when I was a kid, basically when I was growing up, I didn't have like siblings, but I lived with multiple cousins and cousins.
You have younger sisters.
Yeah, but that was when I was in like middle school, dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot. There's a big age gap between you guys.
Yeah, and I never really had siblings around very often, but my cousins were around all the fucking time because we usually lived with my grandparents, and people would come to my grandparents like every other day to drop off their kids, or we would be like somewhere else, and then we would live with people. It was a whole thing. So I didn't have siblings technically, but I had people who I could basically call my siblings, which is my cousins. And when we were growing up, we all basically shared the same games, but I wasn't allowed to play Jak and Daxter.
You weren't allowed.
No. Well, mostly because of Jak's 3, which is like not an R-rated game, I don't think, but it's close.
It's definitely edgier.
It's the edgiest of all of them. It has guns. It's like a whole thing. I know.
Guns.
Oh, in the early 2000s, that was crazy.
I mean, yeah.
Yes. That's actually, now that I think about it, I could play Ratchet and Clank. Huh. But yeah, Jak and Daxter was my cousin's, and he just didn't want me to play it. He didn't let me play it. So I never played Jak and Daxter growing up. I played Sly Cooper, I played Spyro, I played Ratchet and Clank, but Jak and Daxter never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, finding this OpenGOAL was a really great experience to get to go back and replay games that from this era that I never got to.
Okay, so this is... I'm just taking a glance at this.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm looking at on this screen is not a pitch for a spiritual successor to Jak and Daxter. No,
Nope.
It says specifically reviving the language that brought us the Jak and Daxter series. It's called OpenGOAL. So this is about programming language.
This is recreating. So most of the time with this stuff, it's a ROM, right? It's an emulator and a ROM. You take Sly Cooper, the ROM that you get from your disc, you put it on your computer, and then you can use this emulator to create the virtual system to run it. And it's very intensive, usually. Yeah. It's actually way more intensive than you would imagine, which is why, like, running, like, modern-day Switch games is relatively difficult.
Yeah.
OpenGOAL is not doing that. They are recreating the games from base.
That's fascinating.
They are recompiling the ROM itself into a playable PC port.
So... Okay, but, like, is this the original team? Do they have access to the original code?
They do not, I don't believe. From what I was reading on here, they do not. They're just taking the ROMs in the games as they have them and rebuilding them from scratch, effectively.
So, okay, so when Nintendo did, say, the Ocarina of Time remaster for the DS,
yeah,
they are taking, their original code from the N64, and they can make a bunch of bullshit about how they're keeping, like, the original glitches and stuff intact. But the reality is that all they're doing is working from the original stuff and then just upgrading the graphics and improving some certain things and adding a little bit to it. So this is reverse engineering, like, old school port style.
Effectively, yeah.
Back when you wanted to play Mega Man on the PC, the only way you could do that is to just program Mega Man on the PC to the best of your ability, copying what you see when you play on an NES.
Mm-hmm.
That's... Why? Why are they doing this? Why Jak and Daxter?
Because they like Jak and Daxter, man. I don't know.
Oh my god. Fan stuff always inspires, like, the coolest projects, which is a shame because they can never make money.
Yeah, like, these guys, they have to be very clear that if you cannot do this unless you own the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of, my cousin doesn't play his PS2 anymore, so I just took his to do it, to get the ROM. But you need to have your own game, and if you want to do anything, I think you could potentially donate, but they don't even have a link for that. Doesn't look like. This is just a thing they're doing. But yeah, isn't this fucking sick?
It's wild. It's just wild.
They've gotten the first 2 games, like, completed. Now they're doing Jax 3.
So, who exactly is the team who owns this? Like, is there a reason? Like, is there a threat of, like, Sony or Naughty Dog giving them the cease and desist?
I don't think so. I mean, they're also not, like, overwhelmingly popular as far as I can tell.
It's one of those things where it's, like, always hard to gauge because, like, Nintendo is so aggressive.
Yeah, well,
their copyright
they
protection.
Have to be technically because of Japanese law.
Okay, you say technically, but Sonic the Hedgehog, like, Sega has the loosest like fan the loosest control over the fandom, and they let people make fan games of Sonic all the time, and they get by no problem,
I have literally no idea how it works. I'm parroting to you what I have heard online. I don't know the logistics of any of this. I don't know Japanese law.
I mean, I think it's a pretty clear-cut case that if, like, Sega can allow, like, fans to play with Sonic, the IP, as much as they do, and Nintendo does not with their IPs, it's Nintendo, not the law. That's the issue. You know what I mean?
I think there's potential wiggle room for both because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Sega could be like, you have to now pay us money, or they have to integrate this because they do that a couple times. They've done with the Sonic Mania, for example.
They've straight up hired fan creators,
exactly,
which is usually like big success stories. Nintendo never does.
No, that. Nintendo does not.
They're like,
that.
No, we're going to get you arrested.
But my point being that if they're doing that, that could be seen as a protection of their copyright in the context of Japanese law. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm not Japanese. I don't fucking know. I don't give a
I
fuck.
I just want to criticize Nintendo.
We always want to criticize Nintendo. It's too easy.
I think I constantly want to defend Nintendo too, because I feel like they're criticized for like the wrong reasons so often.
Like what? Can you give me an example?
Okay, well, like one of the biggest things that people always go on about is their anti-consumerism, and it's like, okay, they're not actually overly anti-consumerist, especially when you compare them to the entire industry. There's definitely like clear-cut, like these studios are really, really pro-consumerist, like CD Projekt Red for a while, and now Larian Studios, like for instance, is like, but like Nintendo is pretty standard. They offer a pretty good service. They don't go out of their way with like exploitative things. They don't do loot boxes. They don't do live service things or anything like that. Like, they're not the trend-chasing company because they're too fucking slow on the draw to chase trends.
I don't know about their mobile games. I have played none of those. I don't know what those are like.
I would say they're very, very typical.
Okay.
Like, I played a little bit of Dr. Mario and a little bit of Mario. So, like, Mario Run is fascinating.
Yeah.
Because, like, the weird thing about Nintendo's mobile division is that, like, it seemed very clear that they never wanted to do it.
No.
And, like, they literally just shut down multiple like mobile projects for no reason beyond the fact that they didn't need to exist anymore. You know?
Okay.
Like, that's what happened with the Animal Crossing game. That's what happened with like Dr. Mario. Like, they don't update any of those mobile games anymore because like they make enough money off the Switch that they don't need it. The mobile thing was like how they got out of the hole when the Wii U was bombing so hard and they were losing money.
Yeah.
And, like, that's weird, right? Like, this is the opportunity for infinite greed, and they're just not going for it.
I guess,
But Nintendo always does that. Like, they're evil, but they're not, like, evil in the predictable way that, like, every other video game company is, where it's just, like, they're gonna do the greediest thing possible.
You could almost say they're not, like, hyper-capitalists.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, that's the weird thing. It's that
they definitely are, though.
They literally have to be. They are business owners. Like, logically they must be, but, like, they don't do stuff that a capitalist would do.
All right, now we are officially waffling too far into Nintendo talk. Let's at least talk about like Sony properties and Jak and Daxter.
I'm fucking
and stuff.
so excited to play through Jak and Daxter 1 and 2. I've never had the opportunity before, and my PS2 is gone. I don't know what the fuck happened to it. And god damn, am I not trying to buy a new one?
Yeah,
or a new one.
And you're not like in the mood to do, because especially when there's easier to find Nintendo emulators because Nintendo fans are more, adept.
Feverish.
Well, and it's weird because, again, Nintendo's more aggressive, but then Nintendo fans are like, I don't care, we want to play your games, even if you don't want us to.
Yeah.
But, like, a PlayStation 2 emulator is hard to, like, find and hard to get running and hard to, like, make all the different games, like, run well on it because you have to go game-by-game basis when you're adjusting your settings and stuff.
There's no, like, wild sweep. You kind of have to just be like, all right, here's my profile for this game, this one, that one, this one. It's a whole process. It's much more annoying than, like, any attempt I've had in the past when I had no money of emulating, like, I don't even know what Nintendo games I emulated when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Metroid game that I played.
Nice.
I had to because I don't have the system. But yeah, this has been a really sick idea, and I noticed it, and I was like, I'm gonna have to just do this right now because like I don't really have much else I'm really going through and playing. I played games with my friends, but that's about it. But this whole project is fucking dope, and I wanted to shout it out to people who maybe are interested. And I did check. The mouse is not working again. I did check.
I think it's the computer being slow. I don't think it's the battery.
Well, yeah, I figured that one, man.
Well, you changed the batteries before we started recording.
I did change the batteries, but I also changed them twice.
Yeah, I don't think it's the batteries. I think it's the computer. Continuing.
Yeah, sorry. I did check. There's no Ratchet and Clank version of this, which is so upsetting because the first like 3 Ratchet and Clanks are lost to time now.
Really? You can't get them on the Sony store? You can't just download them on PS5?
I think you might be able to for the couple of them, but I know not all of them. It also might be one of those things where you need to have their like their thing where you can play online, their cloud gaming thing that they have. Mm-hmm. I think it might have. When I last checked, it would have been one of those. But like also like I'm not gonna download on a PS5. I want it on my computer.
See, that's another thing that's like, Sony's backlog of classic games, they have slowly just made available to just get on new consoles off the Sony store. Like, they get an emulated version that's runnable, and
Yep.
then you can just buy it, and then once you have it, you can just always have it on your Sony system. Whereas like Nintendo, they only just now, with the Switch and Switch 2 generation, created an online storefront that crosses console generations.
Yeah.
You know? And until now, any single time you wanted to play a classic game, you either had to play the classic game on the original hardware, pirate it and emulate it, or wait for Nintendo to make a fucking remaster or
Yep.
remake.
Yeah, and
Which they do with consistent regularity, I should point out. Probably more than any other studio.
they do. I mean,
Because they make shitloads of money off of it.
that's how I played the Ocarina of Time, because I never played it originally.
Did you play the 3DS version, though?
I did, yeah.
So, okay, that actually opens up kind of a discussion, a philosophical thing.
Okay.
Do you feel like you played the actual Ocarina of Time
Yeah.
when you played the remastered version?
I
With all of the big changes that they made.
I will. Here's the thing. I can't comment on the changes because I didn't play the N64 version. I just played the 3DS version, so I don't know.
Well, for the most part, that's good enough for you, though.
Yeah. Like, I'm not, like, I don't feel the need to go back. And also, one of the reasons that I was excited to play the 3DS version over the 64 version when I was looking into doing either is because the 3DS version used the 3DS version of the bow and arrow game.
Oh, yeah. It's got the motion gyroscope aiming that's actually really smooth, especially compared to the shitty N64 one.
And I was like, if I'm going to have to, like, I'm either going to emulate this or play it on my 3DS, I'd rather just do the 3DS version. This would make more sense to me. I know they made changes. I know they did that to the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what they are or how significant they really are.
Well, see, that's like when people will analyze the different versions of a game and be like, this is the definitive version that you should play. But, like, to me, to a certain extent, obviously not literally, I'm not, like, saying, like, it doesn't count unless you play the original version 1.0 on the original hardware. But, like, in some ways you're playing a different game. Sometimes the changes are extensive. In the case of Ocarina of Time, there's lots and lots of quality of life improvements that make the 3DS version way better.
That's actually what I was going to point out. That's what I heard. That's one of the reasons I didn't when I was trying to play Majora's Mask, I went to the 3DS version is because what I heard is that everyone was like, yeah, they changed like 9 different things, but everything they changed was better.
For Majora's Mask, a few of the things they changed were just worse, and a lot of people were so upset that they're like, yeah, don't play that version of the game.
Okay, fair enough.
And that's baffling. Well, not baffling. It's interesting, you know?
It is, yeah.
Like, for if you've never played it, for anyone who hasn't played Majora's Mask, the big thing is the Zora swimming. When you can turn into a Zora, you can swim in the water, and the controls are really fun. Like, you move super fast, you can do dolphin jumps out of the water. It's a blast. And then for no apparent reason in the 3DS version, they're like, no, you go slow, and it sucks. And if you want to move as fast as you used to be able to, you have to use your magic power. You have to hold in a button, and it has to drain a bar that you need a resource to restore. And everyone's like, why? Why did you do that? And it's like other little things like that, too.
Yeah.
Like there's an annoying thing with the jumping puzzle in the Deku Swamp where you have to get across the lily pads. Like it's way, way, way harder in the 3DS version. Like it was programmed wrong or something. And it's like, well, now all of these quality of life issues that make this version of Majora's Mask the better version are being hamstrung by these shitty changes that were made for no reason.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, which version do I play? Which is the definitive version? Is the swimming that important? And for some people, it's like, yeah, the swimming in Majora's Mask was really fun, dude. Like the water part was like the water dungeon is really good in that game.
I honestly bet that if you played that mini game and that dungeon without having the original context, I think it would just be fine.
It would be fine
because I think that would track within my understanding of like modern day Zelda with like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's just a strange thing that they would do, especially because in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, now that I think about it, you don't have to use magic. Huh.
It's like I said, I don't have like an argument I'm making. It's just kind of a ship of Theseus kind of discussion.
Yeah,
like at what point, what changes do you make turn it into a different thing? Is Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 1 Remake the same game?
I don't know.
Like once you get rid of the fixed camera angles and the tank controls, and it's like a completely different experience, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's a fair point, especially when you because I'm thinking more like Resident Evil 2. That's the one that I actually kind of played and I have that experience of.
Hmm.
It's a totally different thing.
People did not like the Resident Evil 3 remake nearly as much as the Resident Evil 2 remake.
I can
You know?
imagine, yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, is the Resident Evil 3 remake not the definitive version? Like, are you not getting the experience of playing Resident Evil 3 if you're not playing the original one since the remake isn't good enough?
Resident Evil 4 is another one where like I think the remake is arguably worse but feels a little better.
Yeah, so that's a good one because, like, a lot of people are pretty happy with the Resident Evil 4 remake. The consensus I got is that, like, it's good, but it's not superior to the original.
No, because like I know that some of they removed some of the sillier stuff in that, like the giant car chase at one point that's not in the remake, and I kind of get why they wouldn't have that in, but also like that's kind of what makes the game, bro.
Yeah, yeah, that was part of the experience.
It's
Pawn shot first, damn it.
exactly. Yeah, that's an interesting point. That the what this is making me think of the most is I think the thing we've discussed before, which is the down the rabbit hole video about Skyrim mods.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is making me think of, and I can't remember the dude's name. The dude who made the Skyrim patch.
The unofficial Skyrim patch,
Yeah.
specifically.
The Frederick Knudsen video on it is awesome, so you should probably watch that if you're thinking about it. But
We have talked about it previously on the
okay,
podcast.
I was pretty sure we had. But yeah, that is what I'm thinking of immediately is those specific changes that they do in between. That's like why and who asked? Who asked?
I would never tell anybody, though, that in order to have the proper Dark Souls experience, they have to play it on the original hardware with the lag in Blighttown.
No,
Like,
thank
even
you.
though that was a definitive part of the experience.
I would say hardware wise, I don't think it matters hardware wise if things are effectively identical.
Effectively identical. Well, the Blighttown isn't a problem in modern hardware.
Yeah.
Like, the experience that people had when they first played Dark Souls it was PS3, right?
Yes,
I believe. Yeah, that was
Yes.
Skyrim.
Yeah, because Dark Demon
2011.
Souls was PS2.
When they first played on PS3, it's just completely different than what it is playing the remastered or even the Prepare to Die edition now.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, but that experience, I don't think the experience was intended, I don't think they wanted it to be laggy and shitty.
There you go. You said the key word in the philosophical discussion. Like, well, what did the devs intend?
Yeah. I can't imagine they were like, let's make this laggy and terrible for everybody.
Exactly. So then you're like, okay, well, then this is obviously an improvement. No one's going to argue that the classic experience is better just because of lag, because it's what it was. But then, back to the Majora's Mask thing, did they intend to make the swimming less fun?
I think the difference there is one is mostly time because obviously they made Majora's Mask in like what 2004,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I don't know.
It was in the early 2000s, and then they made the remake in like 10 to 15 years later, roughly. Like that amount of time has changed. Every single person who's working on that, assuming it's the same people, which it very much probably isn't. Every single one of their entire...
With Nintendo, it actually probably is. That's like one of the few exceptions because they have they keep their employees on better than any company in the industry.
But like even then, like their metric for how they make a video game has evolved so much over the course of the time. Whereas they going from the PS3 to the PC version, that's like maybe a year. And their thought process is not we should remake and alter and better. There is we need to make this 1-to-1 so that it's a port.
Mm-hmm.
I think that headspace is totally different.
All right, I think I'm done belaboring that talking point. You had other things you wanted to tell me about besides Jak and Daxter remakes.
I wanted to tell you about Hytale.
What is Hytale?
Okay, so Hytale is a Minecraft mod.
Okay, yeah.
A Minecraft clone.
Hytale, Hytale. That sounds really familiar. Where would I have heard that before? You
may have heard it when you were exploring the pirate software stuff a little bit.
Okay.
He originally... So this is what I was going to tell you about. Originally, back when I was more into pirate software before the big drama, he did his own Minecraft server, and I never really played it, but the entire idea is that it's a very brutal MMO type thing, where like you can create like a whole business and everything, but someone can just take your shit.
So they're doing the I think Rust is the one that usually has the big.
Kind of like Rust, yeah. Rust is a
That's
fairly
the
good
one with
example.
the reputation where like you start like naked and other players just immediately start trying to screw you over.
The only major difference would be that Rust has very regular wipes. Like it's like every week, I think.
Oh, so they reset progress so that you can't just. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, different topic.
It's a whole thing. But yeah, it's kind of like that, but like more MMO-y. You know.
Yeah.
I cannot think of an example, but like the Ashes of Creation would be one. I don't even know if you know anything about that.
No.
Don't worry about it. It's new. It's coming out soon. It's not probably worth it. He has a Minecraft server, and one of the things that he was going to do was move that Minecraft server to Hytale, because Hytale has a lot of topics and interests that he was more invested in. And then, unrelated to the drama, Hytale was dying. It ended up getting canceled.
So Hytale is a game that was in development that Pirate Software was like interested in building a community in.
Yes,
is what you're saying. Okay.
Effectively. And then it was canceled in 2025 by Riot because it was apparently overly ambitious and shifting scope and all this stuff. But then here it is, playable. They did it again.
So it's not being funded by Riot anymore, or not being published by Riot anymore?
No, I guess they're just doing it kind of like on their own. Hold on. Oh, and also Hypixel. I don't know if you know anything about Hypixel, but Hypixel is a Minecraft server that was like one of the biggest Minecraft servers for, I don't know, a few years. Blah, 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 blah. I was reading a thing.
I'm going to grab this mouse and I'm going to scroll down this page a little bit and explore. Because I really don't know anything about Hytale. Like, it obviously looks like a more gameable RPG-ish version of Minecraft.
Yeah, that's effectively what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like Minecraft, but there's more RPG elements.
Built for competitive play, run your own world.
I have no idea what it means when they say built for competitive play. I'd have no clue what that indicates.
I had no idea.
I can't find I was hoping to find the information before we started on how they are out now, because I don't understand. I don't know what happened. But I can't seem to find the information on it. All I know is that you can buy and play this right now.
Fascinating.
And I wanted to talk not as much about Hytale, because obviously I don't know as much about Hytale. I want to talk a little bit more about Minecraft like clones in general.
Okay, I'm down.
Because there's another Minecraft mod that I know you don't know because I asked you before, but has gotten relatively popular.
Vintage Story. Okay, you mentioned that.
I did.
Immediately I thought of Vagrant Story, and I'm like, this is almost certainly not related.
They are not related. So Vintage Story. When I was a kid, I downloaded a Minecraft mod, and the Minecraft mod's entire raison d'etre was to make Minecraft more realistic. So the way that you would make stone tools, for example, is by napping.
Okay.
Did you know napping as a concept? K-N-A-P-E?
No, wait. No, what is that word?
It's where you take a piece of stone, like flint usually,
okay.
And then you take a bigger, harder stone, and you notch out bits until you create the tool, the sharpness of the tool that you need.
Welcome to Starting Topic. Here's your vocabulary lesson for the day.
Yeah. It's like a thing that's been around for like ever. Vintage Story was the Minecraft mod version that they created out of that game. Like the other way around. They created a game out of that mod, and it is Vintage Story. And I find it really interesting because it's just Minecraft basically, except that the entire so much louder than I thought it was gonna be.
I hope that did not get recorded.
It 100% did. I'm so sorry, everybody. But it's literally just Minecraft, except that you have to do stuff like how you would do in like the Stone Age.
Except that okay.
So like if you want to build a hut, you have to like chop down a tree and like get your logs ready and everything.
Because it's so dedicated to realism, we're in primitive technology mode. We're not even going to be getting to like the swords and magic and redstone machines that you get into regular Minecraft. Although it looks like it is like still like shockingly pan for minerals, cast copper and bronze.
Yeah, you have to actually cast your stuff.
This is a certain type of nerd's heaven.
Yeah, we know when his name is Will. Oh, I don't know anything about Yeah, no, this is I just think it's a really cool idea, and it's one of the things I like about Minecraft. Right,
Hmm.
is you can get shit like this out of Minecraft. Minecraft's existence creates this.
How much do you enjoy like simulation in games?
Hmm. I've never really put too much thought into it, but I think it really depends on what we're simulating.
So like, yeah, it's gonna depend. But like, I feel like a lot of people are so obsessed with realism and so obsessed with like recreating the
I
simulation of it.
That ain't me. I can tell you that.
So you're not the kind of person that wants to play a space sim where you have to remember to like open and shut the airlock every single time you want to, get in and out of your ship.
Okay, I don't think opening and shutting airlock is would be an example of that. I think checking your oxygen levels before and after you enter and leave, as in comparison to your like carbon levels and everything, I think that is the level of realism. Opening and shutting your door, I think it just makes sense.
Well, to me, that's tedium. It's like, okay, you are forcing me to press four buttons instead of just one. Because I have to open the door, shut the door, open the other door, and shut the door instead of just opening the door and walking through it. You know?
I
And like,
guess.
so my go-to example for the game versus simulation, and it's not even like a hardcore simulation,
Mm-hmm.
but because they came out around the same time, Breath of the Wild and Red Dead Redemption 2. And just
Yeah.
the difference between picking shit up. Because Red Dead Redemption 2, they want to have kind of that survivalist, they want to have kind of that realism mode, and that means that every time you want to pick something up off the ground, there is an associated animation of Arthur fucking bending down and picking it up off the fucking ground.
Okay, so this is a really good point and a really good area to point to.
Hmm.
I completely agree with you with where you're heading here. I do hate a lot how much little dumb bullshit is in specifically Red Dead 2. Cause I don't know, have you ever actually played it?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, Red Dead 2 is the only game that I have bought for the PS4.
Okay. Fair enough.
I really liked Red Dead 1.
I still think Red Dead 2 is a good game.
I do
really
too,
enjoy
but I
it.
did not get very far in it at all.
I got well, my problem with Red Dead 2 is that I watched like Nikki Jakey's video on it first, and Nikki Jakey informs the people watching the video that there's a certain area of Red Dead 2 where the game stops being an open world game, and then you get like shunted onto an island, and then after that the game's
Yeah.
story just kind of
I
goes.
know about that, but I never got even where close to that point of the
Well,
story.
I was like always afraid that the next storyline I would go on would be that, so I was doing every single other thing I possibly could within the entirety of the world before I got there.
I'll explain why I fell off of Red Dead 2, but let's go back to the simulationist argument.
I agree with you that like that is really fucking annoying. The fact that you can like go in, you can play as Arthur, and then you walk into a lake, and then you walk out, and then you start shooting, and then your gun jams.
It does that? That's really cool.
Because it's rusted. You have to go and clean your gun.
That's so funny.
And like, yeah, it's fun and cool, and I get the thing, but like it's also really fucking annoying in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like overwhelmingly, and then you switch to your other gun and it's also rusted, and you're like, I'm just gonna close the game and not play anymore. That was the shit that pisses me off. I think that is too far. I agree with that. But there are certain points and certain examples where I don't think it's as bad. My easy example would be Tarkov.
Okay.
Because Tarkov is, for the most part, a simulator. But there's also just silly things in it. Like, you have the way the game works is that you have to go into a raid, and the raid is about 40 minutes of time, real time. In that 40 minutes, your character will go like from fully energized and have all their hunger and thirst to not inside of 10. So you have to keep eating and drinking the whole time, and you have to. And one of the things you have to scavenge for is food and drink, and that's just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Because like you're a grown adult, you can last for more than 40 minutes without hydration.
There's always going to be people who like that thing. That's why I'm not condemning it. I'm just
No,
saying
no,
that
no,
I
no.
personally don't like it. I'll never play Fallout with the survival mod on, for instance.
I will say I played Fallout 4 with its hardcore mode, and it was actually more fun than regular Fallout 4.
All right, so like maybe I think it usually depends on the actual mechanics that end up being made.
I agree with you. And what made Fallout 4 really fun was the way that saving worked.
Mm-hmm.
You can only save when you get to a bed.
There you go, yeah. And that means that every single like trek from your bed to do something is a run.
Yeah, and now you're like, I have to find a bed. That building looks like it could potentially have a bed I could sleep in. So you run in there and you kill everything and you look around and you find a bed and you're like, thank God.
See, when you compared dealing with your airlock versus checking your oxygen levels, I would say checking the oxygen levels is the much more fun process because, like, okay, I need to account for how much air I'm going to have on my little excursion outside of the trip. That's gameplay. That's thought. Having to remember to press open and shut the doors correctly every single time you go through them, like I said, to me, that's just tedium.
My solution to that would be like as you progress through the game, you get to a point where that can be automatic.
My personal sweet spot, game-wise, of like the game that does this stuff perfectly, is Metal Gear Solid 3.
Okay, yeah.
Because Metal Gear Solid 3, everything has a purpose. Everything has a mechanic. Everything is interactable, and everything is a viable strategy in order to get through the level. But it's very gamified. It's very mechanical, you know? Like, when you get the torch, you can just, like, sneak up behind people and, like, get close enough that the torch hitbox is touching them, and after enough time, they'll just set themselves on fire, and they'll just die that way. It's not realistic, but it is really fun, and it works on, you know, an internal consistency. Like, you know how...
Yeah,
you like, the torch works the way you expect it to work. In a gamified, silly toy way, but still in a way you would expect.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to think of, like, more examples where it's just like, this is so overwhelmingly realistic that it's no longer fun, and I've come up with one. Arma.
Arma. Okay, I've never played Arma.
Okay, so Arma is literally a military simulator. It was, like, developed by the U.S. military, even though at this point it has become a totally different thing.
Fascinating.
I think it was originally developed by the U.S. military, but then Aeronaut took it. It is, like, the amount of shit you need to do in that is insane. Gunfights, you can't see anybody that you're fighting for the majority of the fight because they are so much farther away than they would be in any other video game.
Yeah, the distance in video games, like...
When you compare distance in video games to how, like, real-life combat, how, like, far an assault rifle can go, it's night and day. In a video game, like, you can't shoot an assault rifle accurately, like, from, like, 100 yards almost.
Or, okay, visual, for anyone who's played Halo. Like, in Halo, your assault rifle, you can fire from the roof of your fort in, Two-Fort, to the floor, to the canyon.
Yeah.
Realistically, you can fire from one fort to the other fort.
Yes.
Like, the other side of the canyon.
Accurately.
And it's like, I can't even see over there in the video game. The draw distance isn't good enough.
Well, in Arma, you got you covered.
Oh, my God.
The most fun Arma content is watching somebody else who's really familiar with Arma play Arma, and then them fucking up. Shout out Soviet Womble.
I was gonna say, you ever play Sniper Elite?
Yeah, a little bit.
I've never played it, but Sniper Elite's one of my favorite games to just watch, like, a really skilled player play. Because it's, like, such a realistic simulation, you know?
You must watch somebody kill Hitler by hitting him in his single ball at some point in time in your life.
I've seen that clip.
Everybody has. It's one of the best.
But, like, that one's, like, that's one where it's, like, the hardcore simulation of just using a sniper rifle, having to account for, like, the way that the bullet is going to drop from gravity and, like, the way the wind is going to affect it and have it all calculated ahead of time and stuff like that. That's not something I ever want to do, but I can appreciate that a game like that exists and that I can watch someone else who enjoys that kind of thing be really good at it.
Exactly, yeah. That's like where the fun is, because I would be the one who's like, that's very gamifying for me. When I was a kid, I loved sniper games, sniper flash games where you'd play as a sniper and you just kill like 5 people, which they have in Hitman now, which is sick. Hitman has also become so awesome. I think we've talked enough about Hitman, but it's become such a cool game.
It is, yeah. Oh my god. And Hitman 3 got so ignored when it came out, too, because of that stupid fucking live service goddamn model that, the episodic thing.
Yeah, but now that all the episodes are out, it's great!
Yep. Shout out to Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan, let's go.
You don't know him, but he's my friend who fucking loves the Hitman games, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna go over to his house and I'm gonna watch him play Hitman, and he's gonna do something absurd.
You're gonna watch him, like, you're gonna be, after he's already done a level like 500 times, you're gonna watch him like expertly walk through the crowd and just accidentally kill someone and keep going.
Yeah, he's like, hey, someone's gonna come through this door right now, and if I stand here and just wait like 5 seconds, I can just push him off the roof as soon as he walks through the door, and it's like, okay, I love this.
Yeah. The Hitman games are so good. Oh no, I've lost it. I've lost the thing I was gonna tell you about. You
So
reminded me of another thing.
so you told me about Vintage Story
Yep.
and the
Hightail
Jak and
bit.
Daxter
Jak and
Hightail.
Daxter. I had you had created another thing in my head that I was like, I should tell Ben about this.
I can tell you about my issues with Red Dead 2 if you want.
Oh yeah, no, it's good that.
So like Red Dead 2, I like Red Dead 1 a lot.
Yeah.
It's a decent enough game. Red Dead 2 I was very excited for. And I really wanted to play the same way I did Red Dead 1.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those weird psychological things I have with video games. One of the reasons I latch onto video games so hard is because they allow a certain amount of control that you just can't get in real life.
Yeah.
For instance, the passage of time.
Yep.
I know in Dark Souls that Lortrek is going to kill the Firekeeper as soon as I pick up the second Firekeeper soul down in Blighttown. That's just a mechanic I know about in the game, and I can put off that happening an indefinite amount of time.
Yeah.
Because I have control over that situation. Red Dead 2, I found so fucking frustrating because of those absolutely fucking amazing moments at the camp.
Right. Okay.
Where, like, all of these, like randomized events and, like, very, very, like, cinematic moments would just happen as you're, like, talking to people in your camp, and, like, little story vignettes would happen and stuff like that. And then you'd finish a mission, and they have, like, a party at night, and everyone's, like, hanging out and, like, singing, and, like, things happen during that party. And if you're on one side of the party, you might be missing what's happening on the other side of the party.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, I am losing fucking control over the situation. I don't know when it's going to do, like, a randomized event thing that I might miss because I am in the wrong place at the wrong time. And, like, the more modern games do that kind of stuff, the more I fall off of it.
Yeah, I can see your point. So, I mean, it wasn't a thing that I even thought about when I was playing it. I was just like, I'm going to play this and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what bothered me about that was just Rockstar's method of making video games, which I disagree with entirely.
Yeah, I'm starting to really hate it.
I can't stand it.
It's gotten, well, like, it is something that has aged very poorly in my mind, especially their distinction between the main quest games and the open world gameplay.
I think we've
talked about it before.
We've talked about it before. I've probably told you about my my dissatisfaction with the zombie game that I can't remember the name of.
I do not remember.
It is State of Decay. But yeah, I agree that it's annoying as shit that you're gonna make me either go through and replay the entire game to visit this different content, or in many cases I'm just like not gonna see all of it, and
it's the little stuff, you know.
I wish there was just a method to see it. That's the only thing, because like ultimately I think it's better in certain contexts, like in games where there's actually branching stories, for example. I want them to branch.
Yeah, you want The Witcher 2, where that big choice you make leads the story in two completely different directions.
Yeah, because
you know?
Then even if I do have to replay it, which I probably won't, but even if I do feel like I need to go back,
you're getting a massively different experience.
Exactly.
But it's not like, okay, well, I didn't realize that if I was in this town over here at this time during the game, then I would be able to get a certain item or see a certain scene or reveal a little bit of information. With Red Dead 1, the way I played it was I would do all of the available side content before doing, whatever the next main story mission was.
Yep.
And I did everything in each of the areas as they unlocked before I moved to the next area. Like, I did everything in that opening area before ever going to Mexico.
Yeah.
And then after I completely finished Mexico, I went to, I think it was West Elizabeth is the third area.
Something like that.
And then I did everything there. In Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead 2, they're like, no, you're going to walk back to Michael's house and a story mission is going to start, and you're not going to be ready for it,
Yeah. It's like, I don't want that.
Other people love that. Other people are like, I love how this organically is surprising and, like, the story is engaging me and, like, all that stuff. I'm like, no, you are not playing video games for the same reason I am. I want that control back.
I miss in Far Cry 3 where I could just do exactly that, where I didn't have to go to a fucking mission. I could just play the game. And then in Far Cry 5, it's like, no, eventually, as you continue to play the game, eventually they're going to hunt you and make you do a story mission, very literally.
The more I think about it, the more I think, like, maybe that's one of my bigger problems with open world games is because of that lack of control that comes in those vast open areas. And then you take a game like Breath of the Wild, which is so much shallower compared to most other
Yep.
AAA open world games. Where
But
it's
you
like, okay,
have-
I have control
You
now.
have that control. You can do all the things you want to do. You don't have to save in Tears of the Kingdom. You don't have to save the one village that gets taken over by Boblicans until you fucking want to, and then after that, then it becomes an actual village again, and you can do all the stuff in there. But you can do whatever you want.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point.
I also hate games that have like an ongoing timer, you know?
Yeah, that's what stopped me from playing the one series of zombie games. Fuck, there's another zombie game. I can't remember the name of it. It's an Xbox exclusive game. Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. Wasn't that the Capcom one?
Yes, they were the Capcom games, and they had like notably like
At the time, they had like huge crowds of zombies.
yeah, like
that was-
massive crowds. That was a big deal. But all of their missions were timer based.
Ah.
Yeah, so you'd have to like do stuff in certain points in time, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to fuck around with the zombies and make all the cool weapons.
See, I would be completely fine with, okay, you start a mission, you've got a certain amount of time to complete it. If you fuck up, then you got to restart with the same amount of time.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
No, it's you have an overall timer and things happen at certain set times that you don't
Mhm.
have control over. If you fucking, waste your time over here, then eventually that pre-scripted event is going to happen. And if you're not there for it, consequences. And
Yep.
again, some people are like, that's the coolest fucking thing ever. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It really is. I just hate it.
I think, yeah, I think I don't know. I want to say there's a version of a game that could do that I'd be into it, but it wasn't Dead Rising and it wasn't Red Dead. I mean, that wasn't why I stopped playing Red Dead. I just didn't care about that factor in Red Dead, but I just kind of got tired of.
Well, you were afraid
everything.
of the next story mission is going to be the one where I'm now stuck on the island and I don't have access to the rest of the game that I'm enjoying
Yeah,
because I don't have the control. I'm like, I just want this to be over so I can go back to having the game.
I don't think it goes back. That's the thing that I remember hearing is that you go to the island, and then now you're doing the rest of the story.
No, you do eventually go back from the island to the main continent.
Oh, okay.
And, like, spoilers for Red Dead 2, if anyone cares.
The
It's been a while
prequel
since it came out.
to Red Dead 1?
Yeah, so spoilers, Arthur Morgan dies.
Yeah,
Because he's got tuberculosis.
yeah.
It's a horrible, horrible disease. And then you get to play as John Marston from Red Dead 1.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't want that to happen yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah. I know I've talked about this with Battlefield, and I have plans to talk about it more, but I fucking hate that they called it Red Dead 2.
What do you mean?
It's Red Dead 1. It's not. It's a prequel to Red Dead 1.
You're right.
It's the prequel.
Red Dead Redemption is already like a pseudo sequel
To
side
Red
series
Dead
to Red Dead
Revolver.
Revolver,
Yeah.
which was made by a different studio.
That nobody even knows any of those games.
I mean, like a lot of people looked into it because of Red Dead Redemption,
Yes.
and they're like, these games are forgettable.
Yep. I think they still have the red eye thing that you can do, but that's about it.
I don't know. Like, I'm back at the point where I'm like, can games please just go back to using numbers for the sequels? Can we just have Game 1, Game 2, Game 3? Because I can't help but notice the trend of like every single new series is trying to be a franchise before it, even the first game is released. So it's always title, subtitle, Legend of. We're trying to do the Legend of Zelda thing where it's like every single Legend of Zelda game is Legend of Zelda subtitle, and it's an iconic thing that you can play in any order.
Yeah, you just do the whenever you talk about it with anybody, you just do the Yahtzee thing in Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Yeah, no, Yahtzee is so fucking on point. I think he pointed, like, he's the one who pointed it out. I think it was
Yes.
Battle Mage, and I can't even remember what the subtitle for Battle Mage
Nobody
was. But it's
does.
like, Battle Mage, it's a fine name. Just call the game Battle Mage, and then you can make a sequel, and it can be called Battle Mage 2.
Yep.
And everyone knows where we stand.
Yeah, you don't have to make Battlefield and then Battlefield 2 and then Battlefield 3 and then Battlefield 4 and then Battlefield 1 and then Battlefield 5, which is based off of Battlefield 2.
Like, ironically, like, Metroid is the only Nintendo series that, like, ever
Yep.
actually had the numbers, and they've actually kept to it. Like, Metroid Dread is Metroid 5. It says so right at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, to be on the other side of that, Metroid is the only one that really has like direct sequels for the most part.
And okay, and that's the thing. So the reason why game companies do that is because they don't want, because games are stratified over console generations and years of time, and being able to play the original game in a series can be very difficult. Like, do I want to jump into Resident Evil from Resident Evil 3 maybe not, you know? Like,
yeah.
but Resident Evil 1 is like an old game and I might not have access to it or something like that. So, like, game companies are like, okay, we're going to trick you into thinking it doesn't matter by just not having that number there. So you're like, okay, is it a good entry point? Who knows? I don't know. The problem is that, like, since stories are so much more, like, games are so much more story focused now,
Yeah.
like, you can't really play God of War, what was the newest
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. I was like, what's the subtitle for that one now? God of War 2.
Yeah. God of War 2.
You can't play God of War Ragnarok before playing God of War.
No, not
1.
really. You
God
can't.
of War PS.
You can. On the flip side, though, you can play God of War without playing any of the originals.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can.
you can.
I didn't, but you can.
Well, it's a challenge for game writers where it's like you can focus more on writing stories that you don't need to have like contextual information. Nintendo's always been good at that. Like Metroid, you can play any Metroid game in any order. Nobody cares about the spoilers. Nobody cares.
Nobody even knows what the story is, except for the people who really like Metroid.
Well, because the story sucks. Like, okay, Metroid Dread. Spoilers for Metroid Dread. At the end of the game, Samus turns into a Metroid. I'm not even joking.
Not again.
I'm not. Well, no, it is the first time. But
okay.
I'm not joking though.
I believe you. I think I beat it. I don't remember if I beat it or not. I know I had it, but I no longer have a Switch. So.
Does anybody care? No. Metroid 4 is the one where you get the DNA thing and you have the X parasites. Did you know that the baby Metroid dies at the end of Super Metroid? Yes, everybody knows that. You don't need to play Super Metroid to know that spoiler. Nobody does a spoiler warning for the baby Metroid dying in Super Metroid.
I didn't know that, but I also probably wouldn't have cared.
Spoiler warning.
Well,
what were we talking about again?
We were talking about we were not talking about Vintage Story.
I mean, we were at some point.
At some point, we were
talking about simulations, talking about like
yeah.
what we enjoy in games, because that's always like what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I spend so much time analyzing my own personal taste, and I wonder, like, does anybody else actually spend that much time thinking about what they want out of games as I do?
I do, but I don't think about them within the context of the game I'm playing, or unless I'm like, this could be improved by X. I think about, if I was going to make a game, what would I make? And, like, for Minecraft, for example, my problem with Minecraft is I really want there to be cities that have people in them.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
And, like, I'm chill with them being, like, kind of, even, like, foreign to you. Like, they don't really care about you. But, like, that's the thing I kind of want the most, is, like, I want there to be, like, an active civilization. And what I was thinking of earlier today was it'd be really cool if when you started a Minecraft world, there were cities throughout the entire world that you could go and find. But the people in the cities will eventually grow over time.
Uh-huh.
And over time, you'll just, like, walk into a city and be like, oh, I've been here before. This is this, blah, blah, blah. You'll leave, you'll go back to your base, and, like, a week in-game later, or maybe a month or two in-game later, you'll come back, and it'll be even bigger, and it'll be, like, more abilities. And be like, oh, shit. I think that'd be kind of sick. And then you can get, like, quests. It'd also be a really good way of adding, like, missions and stuff, which I think for most people who play Minecraft, they won't care about. For people like you, who don't particularly care for being given a bunch of tools and said do whatever you want guidance, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey, build me a house. And you're like, oh, I got you.
I would say, hold on, I had a thought and then it fell out of my head. Fuck, I hate when I do that.
Yeah, I had that happen to me earlier, remember?
So, about the cities and stuff. Minecraft.
Yeah.
Games like Minecraft, like, on one hand, they can just be updated indefinitely.
Yep.
And just have more content added to them indefinitely, and could only improve with that
Theoretically,
content.
yeah.
Well, okay, maybe there is an upper limit, but we're nowhere close to that. You can just keep on adding more features into Minecraft, and it would only make it a cooler game.
And honestly, even if you don't add more features, somebody else will add the features that you didn't add in anyway.
That's true. They'll just make a Minecraft mod like Vintage Story.
Yeah.
But, like, and sometimes they feel like they have to, because, like, there's always those almost, like, traditions that the devs will, like, adhere to, and just, like, not implement the thing.
It's like, there's like a concept in animation, like in television animation, where certain characters, there's do's and don'ts. Marge Simpson will never swear or something like that.
Yeah.
That sort of deal. It's like that. They have those for video games as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely a style guide in Minecraft, and who knows exactly what it is. I'm sure it's changed over the years since it went from Notch to Microsoft. But, like there's definitely things that they're just not going to do. Like I don't think they're going to add vehicles, for example.
Like they could,
Yeah, 100%.
but they're never gonna do that. You
No.
just have the feeling. Like people wanted a Loftwing update for Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, okay, that legitimately would be cool. Like if you remember how Loftwing's control in Skyward Sword, having that over the Breath of the Wild open world, would be one of the legitimately coolest fucking experiences ever.
Yep.
Even more in Tears of the Kingdom, where you have the floating islands.
Yeah, they kind of do that in Tears of the Kingdom, sort of, really.
Not
really.
Not like the way it would work in Skyward Sword. But
No.
like Nintendo's not gonna do that.
No,
They're just like, even if they could, even if they technically had the ability to, even if they had the willingness to, even if they thought they could make a lot of money, I don't think they would, because Nintendo's weird like that. They just have these like rules for themselves.
They'd be like, no, those aren't in this game. No,
Exactly.
that's not. It's a different universe, bro. You can't do that.
I remember for the longest time, the only thing you can mount in Minecraft were pigs.
Yep.
Like you didn't start by like, okay, you can put a saddle on a horse.
Nope.
It's like, no, it's a pig, because we have our weird little sense of humor thing, and that's a tradition. Like this is part of Minecraft.
Yeah.
Now, eventually you can ride horses, but
Yeah, and now you can ride ghasts.
ride what?
Ghasts.
Are those like the ghosts?
The big giant ones that shoot fireballs. Yeah.
Do you make a saddle for it?
Mhm.
That's hilarious.
You haven't seen the Minecraft movie, have you?
No, I have not.
This is a big pivotal moment in the Minecraft movie.
I know that at some point the line "chicken jockey" is said, and then everybody explodes in cheering, and for whatever reason.
One of the funniest things that Dan Gleesling, which is a Twitch streamer, former Big Brother winner, ever did, in my opinion, was he took his kids to see the Minecraft movie, and he waited for the chicken jockey part, and then as soon as it happened, he yelled "chicken jockey," and nobody else in the theater said anything. So he just embarrassed his kids. He was so excited.
How did he? And nobody did anything.
Nobody said. He was the only one who was going chicken jockey.
You can't plan for this.
It was so funny. Anyway, that's pretty much all we've really got as far as talking about Minecraft, I think. I don't think you have strong opinions about Minecraft I don't know about.
Not really. I'm not a Minecraft guy.
Do you...
I was curious, because you were talking about, like, a kind of update you would like to see in Minecraft. Do you ever, like, imagine, like, the game that you want to make / the game that you want to have made so that you can play it?
Yeah. I've mentioned a million different versions of that. I talked last week about the way I would like my Supernatural game to exist, where you pick your car and that's your hunter, and that determines all that stuff. Minecraft, I'd want that. I'd basically just want that added, that and some more magic stuff, because magic's really cool. But like, there's also so many Minecraft mods. There are so many, Ben. I don't even know if you know.
But you don't have like an ultimate idea in mind, like the last game you'll ever need to play.
There's no such thing in my head. Whenever I try to envision that, I just come up with slop.
See, it is my entire life I've envisioned like that game, like if I could make my own giant open world RPG action game, like kind of thing. And the original fucking inspiration for it was goddamn Fable.
Yep, that's what I was gonna guess.
Have you heard that Fable is finally fucking coming out, by the way, the new Fable game?
I've heard that it was coming out. I did not hear anything good about it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't give a shit. Like, I watched the trailer and I'm like, this looks fine, I guess. And then, like, at the end, it was like, what's this PlayStation logo? What the hell?
Is it PlayStation exclusive now?
It's not exclusive, but, like, I don't understand what Microsoft is even doing. Like, why do they even try to have a video games division at this point?
I don't know. I can't stand... I don't want to get... We've already been a little political throughout the podcast. I don't want to get too political when I talk about how much I despise Microsoft and they're taking their argument that they can't they can have a monopoly in the United States economy because they don't produce enough games, and it's like, that's your fucking fault. You did that.
I want to say, like, when I was saying, like, Nintendo isn't as anti-consumerist.
Microsoft is. Microsoft 100% is. If you want to go through a really fun experience, like a really enjoyable one that's really fun, forget the information you need for your Microsoft account and then try to get it back through Microsoft. Good luck.
Do you remember Games for Windows Live?
I do not, luckily.
Well, you needed it to play Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition on PC, and you needed to play Batman Arkham Asylum, which were two of my fucking favorite games in the 2010s.
Valid. Very valid, especially Batman. You know what's going on right now in Steam that I was kind of interested in?
No, what's going on in Steam that
They're
you're
doing
interested
a DC Universe sale. And I
Okay.
was like, that's cool. What other DC Universe games are there besides Infamous and Batman?
Which one's Infamous?
The fighting game, the Mortal Kombat fighting game.
Injustice.
Injustice, sorry.
I was gonna say, isn't because
Infamous is the
Sony
Sony thing.
superhero one.
Also fun, but different.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you want to know how many there are besides those two? Like 2.
What are they?
They're like DC Universe Online and then some other thing I don't even remember the name of.
It's okay. It's weird that superheroes haven't translated to video games better.
No. The
Like-
only one really is Spider-Man.
But I would argue, yes, because Spider-Man was probably our first big success story was the Spider-Man movie adaptations, particularly Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 from the GameCube PS2, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because before that, most of your video game, like, they're usually movie adaptations.
Movie tie-ins, yeah.
And they're usually beat 'em ups, you
Yep.
know? Like, I remember a few good Batman side-scrollers, but I also remember some crappy Superman beat 'em ups, X-Men beat
I
'em ups,
played
Batman beat 'em ups.
a really shitty Wolverine game based off of Wolverine or X-Men 3, I think, or X-Men
Mhm.
2. I think it was X2. Fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah. There were some dungeon crawler, like, hack and slash style games, like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. You ever play that one?
Yes, Marvel Ultimate Alliance was pretty sick.
I used to love that one a lot.
Well, I'm thinking specifically DC, though, because there's actually quite a few Marvel games in this concept.
Yeah,
Like,
there's more Marvel games than DC games.
there's Marvel games that nobody thinks about, like Marvel Suns,
mm-hmm.
which is a video game that exists, I guess, technically.
the XCOM one. Like it's like there's a Marvel XCOM style game where you like have a squad of like
I know
B
what
tier
you're
Marvel
talking
superheroes.
about. I think that might be Marvel Suns.
Yeah, Dark Sun, like Marvel Dark Suns or Marvel
Something like that. That exists.
Yeah.
There's the Marvel beat 'em ups. There's the Marvel Lego games. Those are crazy. But DC has Batman. It has Injustice. It has DC Online, and then it has almost nothing else.
Why?
I don't know. They just don't. Maybe I don't know.
It's okay. Well, no, I know why. It's because Warner Brothers sucks.
Yeah, they
They
do
have
fucking
sucked.
suck.
They have sucked for a very long time. They've been in control of the DC IP for a really long time.
Yeah.
Like our best example of a DC video game is Batman Arkham Asylum and its sequels.
Yep.
And all of the problems associated with that because of WB.
Yep.
Specifically, and then Game for Windows Live.
I would put more negative toward the Lord of the Rings games, the
Oh,
Shadow of Mordor games, which are literally some of my favorite games ever because that's my entire that method of gameplay mechanics is just in my brain. I love it, but also I can't stand WB on any level because of those games.
Those cocksuckers, they had to fucking copyright the goddamn Nemesis system.
They had to. They must have. And then on top of copyrighting it, they also had to, in the second game, make it so that you effectively need to purchase in-game currency in order to progress.
Oh my god. Okay, like, nah, I'm gonna bitch about this.
Feel free.
The whole point of copyright, the whole point, the reason why this concept exists, like way back in the day when some like legal scholar was like, hey, we should make it so people can't just plagiarize other people's stuff. You know, we should have consequences for that. Because otherwise, creators might not want to create if like, you know, the thing that gets created just instantly gets stolen and other people make profit off of it. That makes sense.
Yep.
That makes fucking sense, okay? And then the original time limit was something that made a lot of sense, which was that the creator of the thing stopped owning the thing when they died.
Yep.
That
sense.
makes sense.
But now,
thanks to Disney.
Thank you, Disney.
Thank you, Disney.
Now the copyright, I don't even know. It's like 120 years or something.
It's absurd. And, like, the Nemesis system proves that it does the opposite. It's like, okay, it now made it so nobody can copy the system, and it did not encourage the original creators of the system to continue creating.
Which is insane. And they're like, I guarantee they're like, well, the profit just doesn't make sense. And it's like, yeah, that's because you're trying every single possible thing to make this single player game worse.
Mm-hmm. So what are
frustrating.
So what are the DC video games that we need to exist?
They need to make a better Superman game.
How? Okay, no, actually, time out. This is something I think about a lot. You know, I love Superman.
Yes, I do.
I like Superman more than Batman. I'm one of those few people who like just feels
I
that
have
way.
grown an appreciation for Superman over Batman to a relative degree, depending on the comic. Like the one where he first talks to, we've probably talked about it before. When he first talks to Shazam, Billy Batson, and he like introduces him. He's like, "You're a child. What the fuck?" And they find Shazam, the wizard. He's like, "What the fuck did you do?"
if we have like a Superman comic discussion, unfortunately Alex has to be on
Fair,
that one.
fair.
But like, okay, you're making a video game where you play as Superman. This is a problem to be solved.
I
as
have
a
it in
game
my head.
designer. Okay,
Continue.
how do you handle flying?
What do you mean by specifically?
How Superman flies. It is his most iconic power. More than his super strength, more than his laser beam eyes. He flies. Superman flies. That is what makes him super. That is the original concept of a superhero, is a man that can fly.
Yeah.
That's why the original tagline for the movie with Christopher Reeves was, "You can believe that a man can fly." And the special effects for that movie were all about trying to make it look like he could fly. So how do you make that fucking fun?
I think there's a lot of games that have made flying a lot more fun.
Well, start naming them, and
I
how do
can't-
they work?
I cannot name them because I'm bad at naming them, but I can tell you how they work.
Okay,
The way that they function is the up. You can do all motions. It's because the problem with the original Superman game on the 64, which is obviously terrible, is that it works like a plane.
Mm-hmm.
He flies like a plane.
Yeah, you have
don't
to
want
point
that.
his head up and down to go up and down.
You want it to work like the Halo Forge, where you can move up and down independently, and you don't have to worry about his head. You can kind of just do whatever the heck you want. And if you can figure out a way to make that fluid, and I don't know the specifics of how to make that fluid and nice, and then when you do need to go fast, you go really fast, as fast as the game will let you, pretty much. That's how you do it. And the way that I would make this game, my immediate first thought, and I would have to probably talk to a million people, is a lot of the game is restraint. Because you're playing as Clark Kent first.
Okay.
And you can't destroy every single building that you see.
I think that might end up not being fun, but I do get what you're getting for.
Like, there has to be a way to make it fun. But, like, you're trying to, like, you're trying to fight a villain, and you're like, all right.
The challenge isn't beating the guy. You can just press the button and punch him and kill him instantly.
Yeah, but then
do that without blowing up the city.
As soon as you do, like, the way that I would do it is as soon as you do go too far, you become evil Superman.
It just turns into a different game. You turn into a different character.
Yeah, you're trying desperately to remain Superman, so you're like, I gotta figure out where in this gauge I can do this punch so that it doesn't kill him and doesn't kill 19 people behind him.
Okay.
I think that, like, obviously, like, most people would be like, we're now playing Injustice Superman, whatever. I'll play it that way. We can go and we can go through the story in that way. But then there's gonna be that group of people, me, who I'm gonna focus my attention on being good Superman. And there's also probably gonna be ways to go back, but you know, that's my immediate thought for the Superman game.
Fascinating.
Flash game. I don't have any idea how to make a good Flash game.
It's fine. We already have Sonic open world game. What was that? The last big Sonic game that came out.
It was not Unleashed, but that's the only Sonic game that ever comes into my head.
Whatever.
Ever.
Sonic Generations. Everyone knows that's the best one.
Yeah.
We'll play as like the modern Flash and then the old-fashioned Flash where he's got like that metal bucket helmet with the wings on it.
Do you think they can make a Wonder Woman game that'd be fun?
I mean, if you can make a Superman game that's fun, you can make a Wonder Woman game that's fun.
Well, neither have happened yet.
No.
So we don't know.
I'm wondering, like, why hasn't Marvel just made more video games?
I think they've made a lot of video games, honestly.
But, like, especially during the massive popularity of the movies, which we've fallen off of since Endgame, we had the three big Spider-Man games, right? And there's going to be an upcoming Wolverine game.
Yep.
But I'm like, okay, well, where's our follow-up to Hulk Ultimate Destruction? Where's our Captain America game?
Okay.
Where is our Iron Man game?
So
Iron Man's the most popular one.
Here's my thinking of all this, right? I think a lot of the problem when you start to analyze each of these individual characters, Spider-Man's really fun to play conceptually because of the swinging. We know that. That makes sense. Wolverine is kind of fun to play because you have the excuse built in as to why you're not dying.
Hulk, we already have a proof of concept.
We already know Hulk is fun. That one I can't explain. But
I can explain all of them.
Captain America, I don't think would be nearly as fun for any amount of time as any other character.
No.
There could be something you could do maybe with like a Civil War type thing where part of the gameplay is like blending in, but like what did you do?
If you can make the shield boomerang bouncing thing just an absolute blast every fucking time, maybe.
I just think it would get. I don't think there's a way to do it where it wouldn't get old after an hour or two. Iron Man, like
Iron Man, you could definitely get creative there.
I think it would be cool as a VR game.
Because they did make an Iron Man VR game.
Cool. I didn't know that.
I was gonna say there's actually a bunch of both DC and Marvel video games that we aren't thinking of at all because they're all VR games and nobody's fucking played them.
That's so sad.
Right?
What's your why are you saying that none of these games exist?
Because of fucking IP shit.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't want to fucking license them. Because they need to do contracts where it's like, okay, you are going to be able to make a game, but we're still going to be able to own the profits of this game for up to a certain amount of fucking time.
Yep.
Control what storefronts that it's available on and what, parts of the soundtrack are going to be available and shit like that,
Oh, there's also Rivals. I almost forgot about Rivals.
I did. There's actually a lot of Marvel video games right now.
There's like I said, there's plenty, and the only other DC game I know that's coming out is a Lego one.
There's a Marvel fighting game that I was excited for.
Marvel Alliance.
But the initial demos have not been that good. There's a really cool Avatar fighting game that demoed. People played the beta for. That I'm excited for.
When you say Avatar, which one?
Last Airbender.
Cool. It's a good one. That'd be kind of sick. I know there's an Avatar VR game that's pretty cool. I don't think it's Avatar, but it's the same concept where you can use like levitation and whatnot. Those are pretty sick.
I want another Hulk Ultimate Destruction game so bad.
I agree with you. That I don't know why they wouldn't do that. The only thing I can think of is that Hulk Ultimate Destruction is like notably not what the common zeitgeist understands as Hulk anymore.
Which is exactly why I say you should
make it.
Redo it, Like, we can reimagine the Hulk as a character, as a world, as a member of the Marvel Universe. But, like, as long as we're keeping these controls where you can just jump all over the place and just punch anything and destroy it and, like, skateboard on cars and rip them in half and shove them over your arms and make boxing gloves and grab a missile
cool
launcher.
Shit.
All that shit.
Yeah. Like, I'm chill. Let's do that. That's fun. A Black Widow game could be cool, but it wouldn't be Black Widow, if that makes sense.
It would just be Hitman.
Yeah, it literally, it would just be Hitman. Hawkeye would be the same. It would be kind of lame.
DC ones are harder. What would be the Green Lantern one?
That's the one that I'm thinking of, like, the most. Of, like, what the fuck could you possibly do with a Green Lantern? Because, like, how do you get Green Lantern into a game?
Not in a way that would be fun, because you can do it in a lot of generic ways.
Yeah, the generic, like, you just make a block, or you make a spear, or you make it based off of whatever character you're playing as,
But we want a drawn-to-life style game, where you can just write in anything, and the game just creates it.
Maybe with AI.
Oh my god. You have made me depressed.
I know, but I'm right. That's the worst part.
They could do an Aquaman game. That would be doable. It's just it wouldn't sell.
No. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think the modern interpretation of Aquaman's pretty cool, to be honest.
That is true. Aquaman has definitely leveled up in
100%.
later years.
Like, when he was, like, back in, the 60s and 70s, he was the lamest fucking character they'd ever come up with.
Okay.
But then they made him ripped.
Sometimes I want to, like, address young people when it comes to, like, superhero stuff. Because I'm like, people's perceptions of this stuff used to be different. Like, Iron Man used to not be popular.
Not even a little.
Not even a little bit. He's just one of the Marvel characters. But there's two groups of Marvel characters that people cared about. There was Spider-Man.
Yep.
And there was the X-Men.
Yep.
And then there was just everything else.
Yep.
For DC, you had Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Nobody cared about Wonder Woman, but she was there because she's the girl. And then you had Aquaman, who existed as a joke.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's just... I can't even imagine the old one compared to... Cause, like, when you think about, like, the Justice League cartoon...
I love the Justice League cartoon, man.
That version of Aquaman's sick. On the flip side, you got fucking Namor.
Okay, I unironically love Namor. He's such a ridiculous... Because he's like one of the very first Marvel characters.
I do know
right?
that, yes.
And he's like this dude with this ridiculous fucking Vulcan haircut, and he's got wings on his feet, and he's from fucking Atlantis.
So silly, dude.
They need to bring him We need him in the Marvel universe. That's how they bring back the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We need that Namor movie.
He's in Rivals.
He is?
Yes.
That's cool. Well, I want to see him on the screen, dude.
He's actually...
I want him to fight. I want him to fight the Human Torch.
He's actually one of my mains in Rivals.
Who actually plays the Human Torch in the new Marvel Cinematic Universe? Because I know they're doing the Fantastic Four. I know.
I don't
what's
remember
his
his
face
name.
is Reed Richards.
Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards.
Pedro Pascal, yeah.
I do not
Which
remember.
I don't think is a good choice at all.
No, I actually think it's a terrible choice. Because like when I imagine Reed Richards, I imagine a tall, lanky man.
I imagine a incredibly unlikable asshole because that's who he is.
Yes, he is also a really shitty person.
Like the best depiction of Reed Richards is the parody of him in The Venture Brothers, where he's played by Stephen Colbert.
Joseph Quinn is the name of the new Human Torch.
I don't know who that is.
Do you recognize him?
I do not.
He was apparently in Stranger Things.
The newest season? Because I haven't watched that.
I have no idea.
Have you watched the newest season of Stranger
Hell
Things?
no. I stopped watching when I started like season 2. And I don't know what it was, but I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
So, wait. So do you know what's been going on in Stranger Things and all that stuff?
Not really.
All right, I want to talk about Stranger Things. We still got a half hour left.
Okay. We also should probably talk about the movie.
What movie?
The movie we watched.
Oh yeah, we can talk about movies because we watched one last night.
It's okay. The movie won't take that long.
It was the Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry is what we watched. No, Stranger Things is fucking frustrating, dude.
I imagine.
Because like that first season is just
so good.
really good. It's just like this stands on its own.
Yep.
And they did not originally plan on doing any further stuff. They just got the money for it. So
I'm
they're
glad
like,
I
let's do
didn't
it.
continue watching then.
I mean, yeah, that's the smartest thing. Like, if I were to like recommend Game of Thrones as a show, I'd be like, okay, just stop at season 5.
Yep.
Like you don't watch to the end.
Yeah, definitely.
You can still enjoy the show if you just decide to quit at season 5 and just.
I think you could
just
probably
the show never ends.
You could probably do season 6. I think it'd be fine. But yeah.
For Stranger Things, it's just watch season 1 and like there's good stuff because season 2 has some good stuff, but it's overall not as good, and it's got that one
episode 7
episode.
It's crazy how popular hitting on season 2 of episode 7, season 2 of Stranger Things is.
Did you watch it?
No.
You never even got that far.
No, it's in. There is a Flowbots response rap that he did for Jake Paul, where he specifically mentions Stranger Things episode 7.
Oh my god!
And I remember that being like, was it really that bad? I also remember Alex telling me that it was that bad.
It was that bad. And then season 3 was, I think, probably better than season 2. It's hard to say, but also not that exciting. Like, I remember watching it and just thinking it was fine.
I can tell you this. When I think about, like, all of the times where seasons of Stranger Things were coming out, the only times were season 1 that I knew about because people were talking about it were season 1, season 2, and then this most recent one. So season 3 and maybe even season 4 if that exists.
Well, see, that's what I wanted to say. Season 4 was the one where it was like, okay, I didn't bother watching it.
Yeah.
I was not interested. I remember everyone making a big deal about it, but I'm like, I don't want to watch this. But everyone kept making a big deal about it. Everybody kept on talking about it. And all of my fucking family members saw it. And they're like, you need to watch Season 4 of Stranger Things. Season 4 of Stranger Things is the best season since Season 1. Season 4 of Stranger Things is the one where it's Vecna. And we're going to do all these cool references to Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to introduce, like, another character and do more Dungeons & Dragons stuff. That's really fucking cool. And you know what? It was. Season 4 is really fucking good. Season 5 is the current season.
Yes.
The last one.
I think isn't it done?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you have heard about Season 5... people are very, very unhappy with it.
Yeah.
Very unhappy
I've
with it.
heard that it, like, is not great, but also, like, what did you expect? I don't know.
I have not watched it because, for the same reason I put off watching Season 4 forever, I just stopped caring a long time ago.
Yeah.
But unlike Season 4, where it was like, eventually I did watch it because everyone's like, this is so fucking good. Season 5, I'm never going to bother.
No, fuck that.
Any of the good points that Season 4 might have had have obviously gotten ruined by Season 5.
Yeah, I'm happy I did not delve deeper into that. I loved Season 1. I thought it was really cool. And then they finished it, and I was like, cool, there doesn't need to be any more. And they were like, we're making a second one. I'm like, I don't see what you even do. I don't even care.
There's no point.
I don't even give a fuck. I thought that the end of Season 1 was great. I'm going to be content with that.
What were you about to say?
About what?
I have no idea. I feel like I interrupted you at one point. To talk
I
about
actually
Stranger
don't
Things.
think that you did.
Oh, Harold Fry.
Oh, well, you kind of did, but I wanted you to. That was fine. We can talk about the movie we watched.
Oh yeah, so for our listeners, we do a weekly movie night, and usually we used to do that after we recorded, so we never talked about movies because we'd always forget to them. Now we do it the night before, except I kind of forgot about this movie.
Yeah. Okay. So this was my pick. We have a lot of movies on backlog that are in my personal to watch movies that I've been recommended. One of the ones I don't know how it got on there actually. Now that I think about it, was the Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. Now, when I was build this movie, when I watched the trailer for this movie, the trailer is very happy. The trailer is very like an inspiring story about a man going across England, and he walks the whole way, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. And I figured it'd be, my head, I was legitimately thinking it'd be a very much more grounded and realistic version of the Wizard of Oz thing they did with Michael Jackson.
Wait, what? The Wiz?
Yeah, The Wiz. I didn't think it was.
Wait, what? Why The Wiz? Why Wizard of Oz? What are you tying that to?
Just like
we mentioned Forrest Gump a bunch.
Yeah. The way that I was imagining it was that it was going to be a story where he just meets a new fun character, and they deal with that character and his story, and then they move on.
Okay, yeah, I can
and
see
that's
that.
The Wiz.
I mean, he kind of does that. Like he meets a character here and there.
Yeah, but
I'll say it. I think the Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry was fine.
Yep.
If I were to give my most major criticism of it, it was so schmaltzy.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, you're trying a little bit too hard to tug on my heartstrings, and it's starting to fail. The soundtrack, after a while, needed to lay the fuck off.
Yeah, okay.
Like, not every single montage needs to be beautiful and inspiring. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can let a scene be quiet. And they had beautiful, beautiful cinematography. Like, there were so many, like, just beautiful shots of England, of him just on the countryside, of him, like, in the woods and stuff.
So, the plot of the movie, I haven't gone to there.
Oh, yeah.
The plot of the movie is that you open with this guy. He's an old man, and he gets a letter from an old coworker named Queenie Hannessy, who used to work at the brewery that he did, and she's in hospice. She's dying of cancer. And he was like, oh, no, this sucks. I have to write a letter back. And then he, like, can't figure out what the letter to be. He tries asking his wife, and his wife's like, fuck off. And he's like, I'm going to go and mail this letter that I came up with. And then he goes to the first post box, and he goes, no, this isn't personal enough. And he goes to the next one, he goes, no. And he goes, I'm going to go to the post office. And he keeps walking until he gets to a gas station, and he talks to this lady, and she's like, oh, well, you gotta pray.
Yeah, you gotta have faith.
You gotta
she
have
doesn't
faith.
say pray, because it's not a religious thing.
No, it's not supposed to be. You have to have faith that she'll come back. And he's like, you're right. And so he starts, instead of doing anything normal, like sending that, going to visit her and just hanging out with her in a car, like you would do.
He decides to walk from his hometown to the town that she is in, that she is staying
Berwick upon Tweed.
That's the name of it?
Something along those lines.
And it's literally from one side of England to the other.
Very, very literally.
And he decides to walk on foot.
The whole way.
The whole way. Because he thinks that doing so will cure her of cancer.
Yep,
or he gets the idea that it will. Except he kind of knows that it won't, and everybody else knows that it obviously won't.
Yeah, but, also, he gets encouragement at some point through the story to it, so, yeah. He also just, does this and doesn't really tell his wife. Basically.
Yeah, so a big part of the movie is the divide between him and his wife.
Yeah.
And then the backstory that eventually gets revealed as the film goes, this is where we're entering spoiler territories, is that he's got a very tragic story with his son who, was addicted to drugs and committed suicide, and he got really upset and nearly, got himself fired from his job by destroying a bunch of stuff. And Queenie...
she took the fall.
Took the fall for it, which is why he's so close to this particular person.
Yeah, and that put a big divide between him and his wife. And the story ends up being, especially when you get to the end of it, way sadder than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a really happy-go-lucky short movie, because I didn't want to be there forever. I wanted a shorter movie than usual. I wanted to be happy. We should have watched Black Sheep.
Yeah, we should have. That would have been very different.
It's a good movie. I would say I think it's good.
I think it felt a little bit like a student film.
I do agree with that.
So, like I mentioned, there's a lot of beautiful cinematography, but it was a lot of without purpose. It's like, here's montage of beautiful scenery, then he's going to have a conversation with a new character. Then there's a montage of beautiful scenery, then he's going to have a conversation with a new character. And every single montage has this beautiful, uplifting, inspiring music that becomes a little bit overwhelming after a while. And every single conversation he has is silent, you know? Like, they don't have the backing track because it's very rudimentary. It's very, like, by the books kind of like filmmaking. You know what I mean?
I think maybe it's just like the kind of headspace you need to be in. I think going in knowing more about the movie, it's easier to accept all that.
I also feel like looking at the writing of the story, because I was interested as I was watching it, like I wanted to know more about the backstory and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I feel like the author wanted to write something emotional and wanted to write something inspiring, but didn't actually have like a particular emotional, inspiring story in their head.
No,
they didn't have an experience that they were drawing.
They
from
didn't
or
have
like
a
that.
thing they could fuel this with. They were just sort of, they know about drug use. They probably have something like that, but they couldn't like, you know, they don't know any. I can't speak on them, but it doesn't feel like they know how this works in real life in their own experience.
Like Harold Fry carries a lot of guilt over the death of his son.
Yeah.
But like, why? Why? It's not really elaborated on. There's like an argument, like a flashback where there's an argument, and his wife mentions that like he wasn't a good enough father, and he like never held him or something like that.
You never did anything. It's like,
Well, in what way? Was because he was always working? Because he was emotionally unavailable? Was it an aspect of his personality? Was it an aspect of his goals in life? They don't really get into it. It's just like, no, it was tragic. That was tragic, and he's reflecting on it now.
Yeah, and he's trying to deal with that, and I guess the ending is kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet enough.
Obviously, he does not save Queenie's life because this is not that kind of movie.
No, but like it reinvigorates, like his journey reinvigorates his wife's love for him.
Yeah.
In a really cute way. They're also all British actors, which is fun.
yeah.
I can't remember the name of the main character, but he's the person who played the captain in Hot Fuzz.
He's the
Peter something.
The weirdest thing so like Sam and I were just like trying to remember roles that we've seen him in, and it's like always like minor stuff.
Yeah.
And he's not like one of those actors that stands out, but he is a good actor. He loses himself in the character. Have you ever seen Moulin Rouge?
No, but I know of it.
He's the guy who owns the brothel. Like, he is such a wildly different character from this, like, you know, sad, normal, poshy British man, you know?
His name is Jim Broadbent.
Jim Broadbent.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's not exactly like Gary Oldman good, but he's a similar kind of actor.
Yeah, and he's a very particular. He's got a very particular like sound of his voice that really cadence that really resonates in my head a lot.
Something I just love about British acting, British shows is just I love their voices. I love a North England accent.
I like it when they have an accent that you don't immediately expect.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it's like they're not gonna have an American accent, but then some dude has an American accent. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, there was an American doctor, and it's like, oh, this stands out just by the way he's talking.
Yeah. It was okay. Like, I liked it. I think that if you're in a certain kind of headspace, like I said, that you should check it out. But I definitely wouldn't watch it sight unseen. I definitely don't recommend that.
I'd say to me, like, there was definitely a theme that was interesting. Like, there's a concept that the movie was trying to make about faith and its importance, which is an idea that I agree with, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, like you should have faith, but it doesn't necessarily have to be religious.
Yeah, because he's not about, like, it's not a Christian thing. And they
No.
say that multiple times in the movies. Like, he's not a Christian. He's not doing this because he thinks a miracle is going to happen.
No, he's doing it because he believes that, like, the ends will justify the means within the context of what's happening, you know?
And believing it's the thing and actually taking action. You need to believe in order to take action, and you need to take action in order to make change. And even if you do not make the change that you necessarily want,
change is made either way.
Change is made either way.
By doing the action, you have made change. Yeah. And I think that's a really, really concise thing that the movie was doing.
We've been talking about all these, like, nerdy video games, and then we're just talking about this, like, pretty artsy film.
Yeah. It also could have been better. It was a little boring at some points. Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm trying to think of like the other movies that I'd wanna watch instead, not instead, but like in addition, Because the other movies on there, like Black Sheep was one. There was we could have watched The Shining.
Have you never seen The Shining?
I've never seen The Shining. I've been waiting. Okay, there's backstory to why we haven't watched it here yet.
Okay.
On our movie night, I told Mike when he was hosting that I haven't seen The Shining. Well, Mike has already seen The Shining, and Mike doesn't really like watching movies he's already seen because he's already seen them. So he's like, I don't want to watch that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then every time we do Halloween, which is be the time to watch it, where we almost never are meeting during that month for some reason.
I am completely fine not waiting until October to watch The Shining.
We can watch it whenever. If it's on your movie thing, which I don't think is next. I think it's Jake's turn, if I'm not mistaken. We can do it whenever. But I'm down. It was just one of the options. I was like, I don't really want to watch that right now. There's also Eric the Viking for some reason.
I don't know what that is.
Neither do I. It came out in 1997 or 1998. I don't remember. I remember what I wanted to point out. It's weird that like we've watched only a few English films specifically. Like I can only think of 2 recently, and I can't remember previous ones besides Last Night in Soho would be the other one. But 2 of the 3 that we've watched, that I know we've watched for certain, have been heavily involving drug use.
Huh.
Last Night in Soho doesn't, but that's only like barely. That's just because it's like
what's the third one?
Last Night in Soho.
No. What's the
Train Spotting?
Train Spotting. Okay, that's a Scottish movie.
I mean, yeah, but like,
yeah. You're right. It's weird that we've watched so many Korean films.
We have watched so many. I want to watch more Korean films.
I want to watch more. I just want to watch more Bong Joon-ho films.
Have we seen? We watched Train to Busan. Yeah, that's the one we watched. I was thinking of the other one.
That's not Bong Joon-ho.
No, it isn't. I didn't.
I know you know that. That's for the listeners.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Parasite.
Oh man, I hope that didn't go over the mic.
I kind of did. That was kind of cool.
No, not that.
Oh, what?
I farted.
Oh, I thought that was this. Oh. I thought I put this down and it made a cool noise.
You're just fidgeting with a battery, damn it. That's not embarrassing.
Well, you could have said...
I have natural bodily functions that I must be ashamed of.
You could have said nothing. We would have just assumed that the battery did it.
We've been waffling for so long. We stopped having something to talk about during the vintage story discussion, and then we've just been like going from like random idea to random idea since. How much time do we have left to fill? 10 minutes?
We can even end early if you want.
No, I don't ever want to end early. I want to just keep talking forever.
Okay.
Obviously.
Why do you hate Game of Thrones, Ben?
You mean the show?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't hate it as much as other people.
No.
There was an episode that just made me decide I'm just gonna quit the show.
Which one?
The one where Sansa gets raped by Ramsay Bolton.
Oh,
and
that's
the funny
fair.
thing is, I didn't even watch it. I just
You
knew
just
it
heard
was,
about it. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's the upcoming episode. They wrote that into the show. That didn't happen in the books.
That didn't happen in the books?
Oh, you didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Oh my god. Okay. We got 10 minutes. I'm going to bitch about Game of Thrones. So, here's the thing about Game of Thrones.
I've unlocked him.
Here's the thing about Game of Thrones. Sansa is the worst character.
Okay.
She is low-key also the best character.
Interesting take.
Or maybe the most important character. If you actually like get into the themes of this story, Sansa's like at the center of it. Because she is a naive young girl in a horrible, cruel, and evil world.
Yep.
That's her story. She goes through more suffering than any single character, and she deserves it the least.
Right.
Her entire crime, and the reason people fucking hate her, is because she's naive.
Yeah.
Because she's a young girl.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's why everyone hates Sansa as a character. And that's, like, upsetting and tragic and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the books, because obviously, as of time of recording, Winds of Winter has not been released and probably never will be.
Never will be.
Sansa is taken by Littlefinger from King's Landing, and she's taken to the Eyrie, and that's it. That's where the story ends there. There was no implication that she was ever going to go back to Winterfell. In fact, they had a duplicate, a fake
Sansa.
Fake Sansa, like one of her handmaidens or whatever.
Yeah.
Take her place, and she goes to Winterfell to go marry Ramsay Bolton.
Oh.
And like, I don't know what was going to happen in Sansa's story, but it was like slowly like kind of building up to the idea that Sansa's becoming more wise to the world, is like growing as a character, is learning more about like, you know, how people like Littlefinger not to be trusted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's it. In the show, though, they have passed where she's at in the books, and they're like, okay, well, we need to continue the Sansa story. What the fuck are we gonna do? Well, this entire time for the past 4 seasons, it's just been her being tortured by Joffrey. So let's just make her get tortured by an even worse character, Ramsay Bolton. And they finally crossed that line, because that's a line that, like, kind of was never supposed to be crossed, is Sansa getting raped.
Yeah.
Because rape is, you know, a pretty big deal, especially in storytelling. It's like a very fine line to cross, where it's like, in terms of tastefulness, in terms of like what you're actually trying to like use this real world tragedy as a part of storytelling. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
They do it just to be cruel. They do it just because they didn't know how to write Sansa. And like when I learned that, I'm like, okay, the writers of the show, now that they are past the book stuff, they are going to ruin this. They don't know what they're doing. Everything that was good about Game of Thrones, the show, was because the books were good. Yeah. Not because the writers of the show were adapting it particularly well. And as soon as they stopped having that to draw on, it fell off hard.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody agrees.
It's one of the... I didn't know that's actually really sucks. That's actually really, really annoying to find out. Because, like, I really liked her character afterward. Mm-hmm. Because that was, like, kind of, like, you know, the inciting incident that would move that, you know, being unwise to the will to now she's way too familiar with how terrible it is. And she kind of becomes, like, a much stronger character as a result. Which is obviously terrible. But, like, you know, life.
I hate the trope. I'm not a woman. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to speak on their behalf or anything. Yeah. But, like, I do have lots of opinions on how female characters are written, and my fucking least favorite trope ever is the woman learns how to be strong by suffering horrible fucking pain and torture.
Yeah, that is... There's no need. You can be an adult and just kind of figure it out. You don't gotta, like, get your ass beaten to death, half to death, to understand how shit life can be.
But, like, it's the most common strong female story. Like, the Tomb Raider reimaginings.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I hate it. I fucking hate that shit.
It's just gross. It comes off like what you want is to see women suffering as opposed to them succeeding. Mm-hmm. Even though eventually they do succeed. It's like, well, it didn't need to be an eventual thing. They could have just learned what's happening in the story and been like, oh, I'm going to change my behavior now. I mean, like a person.
There's a million different story templates to go by of male characters becoming, you know, strong over the course of the story through various ways. Some of them are that trial by fire, you know, torture and stuff, and that's appropriate for those stories. They would be appropriate for those female characters, too, if it wasn't such an overdone fucking trope.
Yep. Or the opposite of that is that you just get Rey from Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a different kind of problem. I didn't mind Rey in The Force Awakens.
Well, that was kind of my problem.
Or even The Last Jedi.
She was just lame. She wasn't interesting at all because there was nothing to her. She was just perfect. So what's interesting? It's the old Superman argument.
We're gonna eventually have to do like a proper like Star Wars sequel discussion on what our issues were, because we've mentioned it a million times.
We have, and it
was a hater episode.
We've never really talked about it on like the in depths of it on this. We'll have to do the horrible thing, Ben.
All right, so listeners, on the next episode of Starting Topic,
we have to rewatch them.
No, we don't.
What do you mean?
No, we don't.
I will. I don't remember anything about those movies.
Just find a video essay on YouTube. That's what I do. But I'll just have someone else come up with their opinions for it, and I'll just parrot them.
Take that.
I want to do a hater episode where we just talk about Star Wars, The Force Awakens, and Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Specifically, we don't even need to talk. What was the third one called again?
Who cares? The Last Jedi.
No, that's the second one.
I don't know.
That's the Rian Johnson. Okay, the first J.J. Abrams one, and then the Rian Johnson one. We don't need to talk about the second J.J. Abrams one because at that point, the fucking dumpster is already on fire.
Well, that's the way they try to put it out.
But I do want to like get into like all my like nitpicky little issues, and also the things I legitimately do like about those movies, because there's a lot more than I think people have credit for. But still, it would have to be a hater episode.
It would, because it's just us hating. But this isn't us hating. Go check out OpenGOAL. Go check it out. OpenGOAL, remember that from the beginning?
Oh yeah, that was our starting topic.
Yeah, do you know about Flash Archive?
No, what's Flash Archive?
Do you like Flash games, Ben?
I do.
This is every single Flash game you've ever wanted ever in your life.
Do they have Dexter's Labyrinth from the old Cartoon Network website?
I have no idea, but probably. Like, I can double check, but probably. This is a thing that you can download to play any Flash game.
All right, we gotta end the episode now.
We do, but I wanted to tell people about Flashpoint Archive. Check it out. Just like, comment, subscribe. Like it. Do it. Now. Faster. 5 stars on Spotify. Follow us on Spotify. Are you not going to say anything?
No, that's it. I'm done.
All right. Bye.
Bye.